I'll be honest, I didn't plan on doing this stream whatsoever. But after that game against Leicester, I kind of felt like it was necessary. That 4-2 defeat to Leicester, you saw my match reaction. Well, I'm pretty sure you would have by now. And my immediate reaction, my immediate feelings towards what I saw. And the reason I'm doing this stream, the reason I'm inviting you all to come on here. If you want to join in, you can have your say about what you saw there from Manchester United, what you saw there from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. For me, the reason I'm doing this stream now after that game against Leicester and not after Everton, for example, or Villarreal or Villa, I've seen a different reaction from that game. And I'm not just talking about from fans. I'm talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's actual comments, how he sort of spoke and represented himself. Paul Pogba's reaction, the reaction that's coming out of the club. There's one thing that I want to make abundantly clear right now, which is something that I've kind of always felt, and I kind of always stood by it. The club is coming out and supporting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. David Ornstein, this is published quite literally 20 minutes ago, if that. David Ornstein saying, as things stand, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's position as Manchester United manager is understood to be 100% secure. Despite a poor run of form, the 48-year-old still has support of Manchester United's board. He signed a new contract running until 2024 with the option of a further year. And he goes on to say there that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a lot of credit in the bank. But what I've seen from, as I said, what I've seen from this in the fallout to this game that strikes me as different to what we've seen before. First of all, and I've said this in my match reaction too, I said previously when Solskjaer's been under pressure, his job's been under pressure, he's been under scrutiny, serious scrutiny. The players have responded. The players have delivered. And Man United have turned it around. That just hasn't happened today against Leicester, and in a magnificent sense, and I don't mean that in a positive way. So what I've done here, as I said, it's a bit of an impromptu stream. I can see plenty of you, Brogan. I can see you, Chris. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you there, buddy. I can see you there waiting. Ian, I can see you there down below as well. Chris and J2. I'll bring you all in sort of one at a time. And as I said, I want to give you the opportunity to come on and have you say. I can see a comment here saying, are you sure the voice of the fans are heard? Well, you'll find out very shortly when everyone comes on. But what I was saying there, this is what I found really strange in that reaction to that game. We go here and let's quickly have a look at some of the comments that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had to say in the immediate aftermath of that game. First thing he talked about was about Harry Maguire, which was, let's be honest, an absolutely, truly abysmal decision. We all knew that Harry Maguire was very, very unlikely, / impossible. He wasn't going to be fit to play Leicester. And it was the worst performance I think I've ever seen from Harry Maguire. So I can point the finger at Harry Maguire for how badly he played, but I can also point the finger at Solskjaer saying, why did you start him, man? You got Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof both played in the international break. But instead, you start him. Poor, really poor decision. This comment here, though, I'll be honest, this blew my mind. This blew my mind. It sounds like something Richard Keys would say as a pundit. Lately, we have not been in great form. Lost too many points, and that is something we have to look at. We might have to change. Do we need more legs in there? What do we need? Bear in mind, this is manager of Manchester United there saying, what do we need? Solskjaer doesn't help him quite a few times over the course of his career as Manchester United manager. He hasn't helped himself. But his reaction here, I was speaking to a guy, Adrian, a fellow I know, who went to the game. He just said Solskjaer walked past the away end and just sort of just kind of shrugged his shoulders as to say, I'm not really sure what to do. And I don't really think Solskjaer knows what to do today. And that's why I'm doing this video. Honestly, I went into that game with some serious positivity. And I'm not just not blind positivity. I was like, Matic and Pogba, it's the midfield that I've been asking for Manchester United to play. And we put in that sort of performance. It's almost worse than it's kind of worse than it has been before. So I can't justify it. I can't just sit there and support Solskjaer blindly. You know, by now here on United People's TV, I want Solskjaer to be successful. I think all of you do, really. But I'm still supporting. No, I don't 100% support him now. Not that I did before, but what I've seen today there was a new low. a real new low. The reaction from Solskjaer was poor. The players themselves, just the overall performance, apoplectically terrible. Last word there. Conceded 16 shots in that second half, 8 on target in just the second half. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to bring you on in the order that you came in. I think that's only fair. Brogan, I can see you sitting there patiently waiting. How you doing, buddy?
Am I in? Nice to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you. I like your shirt, by the way. But
thank you, buddy. I noticed the one in the back, so I stuck it on quickly.
Yeah, there it is. What's your opinion, man? You know, that was a really, for me, it's probably the lowest point I think Solskjaer's been as Manchester United manager. But you know, has it changed your opinion on anything, or were you already Ollie out before that game?
At the end of the day, my issue is I was Ollie in. I was Ollie's at the wheel, and I was on the train of that Ollie should get the job and all of that. But when we wanted him to get the job, he played with a single holding midfielder. He played with 3 in the midfield, and he had a single holding midfielder. When we had Jose, it was with 2 central CDMs as a pivot. And basically, when I wanted Ollie to get the job, he was playing an attacking formation with 1 holding midfielder and 2 in front. And that's when Matic was starting. And that's why I wanted him to get the job, because as much as I liked Jose and I thought that he was a winner and he would bring us trophies and all of that, I didn't like the style. And I liked Jose. But at the end of the day, I was Jose, he had to go. And then Ollie gave us this attacking football. And I was like, this is bloody great. Let's do it. Let's go. Give him the job. He deserves it. But as soon as he got the job, he changed his formation and he went defensive. And this is exactly why I wanted to go from Jose to Ollie. I wanted us to come out of this defensive way of playing. And I feel like he cheated us, because we wanted him to get the job with it, to have attacking football. He got the job, and then he suddenly went, oh crap, I've got the job now. Now I've got to kind of cover my ass kind of thing, excuse my language.
You're allowed to swear on this channel.
So I was already feeling disappointed, and I was feeling afraid, and I said, okay, let's just give him time, let him build his squad, let's see what he can do with it. And at the end of the day, we're 3 years in now, and he's still playing this formation that I wanted Jose out for in the first place, kind of thing, So I've been critical. I've been critical of you in the comments, and the only reason I'm not critical of you, I'm critical of kind of, because at the end of the day, this is an issue that I'm jumping here because I'm so passionate about this all. But this is a problem from the training pitch. It cannot be fixed. This is not going to be fixed throughout the season. The way we play, the way we're playing is not going to be fixed this season. It's not, because this is something that should be drilled into you on the training pitch. And you see with Pep, you see with Tuchel, this is something from the pitch that they're drilled into. So when they get on the pitch, they know from behind they've got eyes in the back of their head, because they know this player's running here and this player's running there, and they know where everybody's going to be from what happens on the training pitch. And it's not like that. So this is a problem on the training pitch, and this is why I'm personally Ollie out, because you've had 2 pre-seasons, because he came halfway through the season. So he's had 2 pre-seasons sorted out. And I remember last season he said, I didn't have enough of a pre-season to get this team going. You've had time now, mate. You've been backed. I want the Glazers out. Fuck the Glazers. But it's not happening. It's not happening. And this is from the training pitch.
I don't think anybody can really deny. I can't deny. You know that I'm sort of supported Solskjaer. I'm not going to be the first person to sort of push that Ollie out train down the tracks, but I can understand why it's gathering momentum. And what we saw today was nothing new. It's something that we've seen before. I think today was probably the worst example of it. Tielemans and Sumari dominated that midfield. Matic and Pogba. I thought Matic and Pogba was the right midfield to play. But Matic, because he's he's a static midfielder, you need to partner him, I suppose, with somebody who plays a bit more aggressively. And someone like Paul Pogba, it didn't work. Nothing worked today on the pitch, apart from Greenwood's unreal goal and Marcus Rashford coming back in and scoring a banger. Great, but it all got lost in the mire of that defensive performance. And yeah, it's a defensive setup. It's like, mate, you've got a back five of De Gea, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka. That's good enough to challenge for anything. Even if you've got Lindelof in there, who I still think is a very good defender, cracking pass as well to Rashford for his goal. But mate, I understand your frustrations, and it's not that I haven't had these frustrations. It's just I've been able to sort of kind of push them down a little bit, maybe as a fan. But something that happened there today is that a part of that definitely left me in the idea that I'm certainly growing more and more frustrated to the point where I'm now saying, I mean, if fucking Solskjaer saying it, he goes, what do we need? And if you've got the manager saying, what do we need? What sort of real chances there of changing? But no, mate, it's thank you very much for coming on, buddy. I can't give too much time to everyone because there's so many people waiting. But really appreciate you coming on. I love the shirt, by the way. I might have to put that on.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Take it easy, man. Mate, look, Brogan is fair enough, man. He's fair enough with everything he's saying there. Chris, I'll bring you on next at some point in the next few minutes. I can see you there waiting there patiently. But mate, this is going to be a really interesting because these next 10 games, right? These next 10 games were the biggest, the acid test. I mean, it's like I don't know, when you're younger, your driving test seems like the most important thing in the world until you've done it, and then you're like, it wasn't actually that important. And then you move on, and something else is coming up. Oh, and you got your uni degree exams. Solskjaer's done that at different points in his Manchester United career. This has been the most important thing. This has been the most significant thing. The hurdles have always changed and the goalposts have. But Solskjaer now, these 10 games were always going to be where he either became horribly exposed and for being underqualified to be Manchester United's manager to take us up to that top table. Because right now we're still sitting on the kids' table at a Christmas dinner, just watching all the adults eating at the top table whilst we have the scraps and the little paper plates. That's currently what Manchester United, but we've got paper plates and golden cutlery. That's I don't know what analogy I'm going for here, but we've got Ronaldo, we've got Sancho, Rashford, and instead of on the weekend where Liverpool win 5-0 against Watford and City are comfortable 2-0 winners at home to Burnley, we're there getting steamrolled by Leicester, really steamrolled. And yeah, as I said, that's why I wanted to do this video today. I could have done this after Villarreal. Not after Villarreal, sorry. Could have done it after Everton. Could have done it after Villa. But just the reaction from Solskjaer almost felt like a white flag from him. Like almost like he's like, for fuck's sake, I've started Matic and Pogba now, and we got worse. He goes, he's probably going home and saying, what am I supposed to do? And ultimately, I don't think he knows the answer. And that, for me, is probably the biggest problem I would have with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Chris, I'll bring you on now. Let me see one of the OGs of the channel. How you doing, Chris? It's been a long time since we had a conversation.
All right there, Sam. Good to see you, mate.
Yes, mate. Good to see you there. I mean, you're smiling, but I don't think you're in a good mood, right?
No, that was a shocker. Absolute shocker. Like you, I went into this with a lot of positivity, this group of games, because you think to yourself, well, international break, you're coming back, you've got 10 huge fixtures ahead, put in a good performance to start off. And we just didn't compete. We were second to a lot of the balls. It's a shame because Marcus came back and scored. Mason scored a cracking goal, and yet it's going to be completely overshadowed because our defence was awful. I mean, Maguire, as you said, Maguire was horrendous. It's the worst I've seen Maguire play, and he shouldn't have been playing. By the way, that was a just bizarre decision from Ollie. And the game management, we scored. Rashford scores an equaliser, 2-2. At that point, you're thinking, do you know what? Leicester have had a few chances. To be fair, if we get a draw out of this, okay, decent. Let's stay solid. Literally 15 seconds after kickoff, concede a third, and at that point you're thinking, well, that's it gone. Yeah, just do me.
But, so, Chris, would you say that has that game in itself as it forced you to change how you feel and how you feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager? Is it sort of I know you. I mean, I'm sure. Look, none of us. We've all had doubts. Everyone's had doubts, but some of us have been able to, as I say, push them down a little bit further and just kind of ignore them. But some doubts came to the surface today that I don't think I can ignore any longer. I wanted to know what you thought about that as well.
Well, as you know, everyone who goes to the games in the ground at Old Trafford support. We support the managers to the bitter end. Just as we support the team to the end. But I think with Ollie, what's come to the fore is that tactically, he may be good at man management, but tactically, he has a plan A, and if plan A doesn't work, he has no plan B. That's the way I see it. Is he doesn't know how to change a game, whether we're leading and we're trying to shore things up. He doesn't know how to do that. And if we're going behind, he doesn't know how to get the best out of the attacking talent he has either. He has a rigid formation and rigid system that if it's not working for him, he doesn't know how to change it. And I think the problem he has now is actually, I think, bringing Ronaldo in, dare I say it's... I think it's actually made the team a bit weaker than if we had Cavani up top, because Cavani presses. When Cavani's leading the line, he actually presses a lot. He runs around, he makes runs, and Ronaldo, he doesn't do a lot of pressing, so he's relying on the people around him to do the pressing. And if they're not pressing, you're stuck.
Chris, it's a point I'm going to speak about tomorrow in another video. Going to sort of let everything settle today because, let's be honest, there's enough negativity right now. But there's no question that all the signings that we've made under Solskjaer, Van der Beek aside, who I still stand by the fact that the club signed him and not Solskjaer. It's too weird otherwise. Every single signing we've made has been as part of a plan we're going forward. Ronaldo was just like an opportunity that we just took advantage of because it was there. And now because of that, we can't play Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho together. And Cavani suited that style. That's why Cavani was such a good signing. That's why he complemented the players so well. Ronaldo jars it completely. He's used to playing in teams which dominate the ball, and therefore he'll get so many opportunities because the team is dominating. But when a team is out of possession, Ronaldo was invisible for like a good 60 minutes today. It's not because he's a shit player. We all know he's the greatest of all time. But when you don't dominate possession like that, the benefit of having Ronaldo goal hanging isn't there because the ball's not near him. So I completely agree with you there. Hey, Chris, I tell you what, it was always going to be a tough 10 games for United. It was always going to be an interesting couple of months. But fuck me, Solskjaer's made it about 1,000,000 times harder for himself after that performance today from Manchester United. And I'll be honest, mate, I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing against Atalanta on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
And then we got Liverpool. Got Liverpool. Oh, mate, what a time to go and play right now. Salah, let's be honest, he really is playing like one of the best in the world. No one can deny that. But Chris, mate, really good to chat to you again. Nice to have you on board. I saw you join as a member. Really good to see you. And I hope you're well, mate. Apart from the fact, United are, well, let's be honest, they're shit. Comment here flying in from Lurkish. As I said, if you've got anything you really want to say, fire it in a super chat. I'll read that out for you, as I always do. Lurkish, you're saying the problem is that his plan A is the same for every single game throughout the season. His style of football is utter crap, and we need to change. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to bloody see a game like that again. Jesus. I felt violated watching Manchester United today. Personally humiliated. That goal that we conceded, Eric Ramsey, as I said, set piece coach, I was praising him considering the only goal that we conceded was the one against Villa. Conceded from 2 set pieces there today. That Soyuncu one, De Gea made a cracking save, but just bodies in and around the box. No one there. It's just it was terrible. And to concede 30 seconds after Marcus Rashford makes it 2-2, if you are not going to see a worse example of a lack of game management than that. Truly, truly abysmal that was from Manchester United to let that happen. Finally, Rashford comes on, mate. And as Chris said there, it's a shame to really have Rashford's return and that goal from Greenwood just cast to the depths of history. Forgotten now. Cracking goals from both of them. Forgotten about. Shame, innit? Surav saying worse is yet to come for United and Ole. Sad, but this man is out of his depth, and if this continues for 8 weeks, United is done for the season. Well, if that continues for 8 weeks, absolutely United are done for the season. No one's going to disagree with that. Chris, nice to see you there, buddy. I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon. Let's bring the next caller in. Who have we got? Oh, it's the big man himself. It's Ian. I'll bring you on, Ian. How you doing?
I've been a bit pissed off today. Let's be honest. Let's just put it right out there. Pissed off. I think you're the same.
I mean, I think we're both the very similar mindset in terms of how we feel about Solskjaer as manager. But what's changed for you after that game with Solskjaer?
With that one, everyone knew coming in. I mean, we said it in the chat. I said if Maguire is fit enough, you can play him. He wasn't fit enough, and Ollie should have known that. You don't. Yeah, you've got your physio, your team of physios around you. He's got his team around them. I work in a field where I have to work with a load of engineers stuff, and I have to go to them and say what's the right thing to do with this. I'm not an engineer at all. I have to take their word for them, but I know enough about it. I can challenge them on it, and I know enough about what I want to get done that I can tell them this is how we need to do it because we need to hit certain deadline, certain budget, whatever. And I feel like he's fucked up there. And I don't know why he's gone with Maguire when everyone around him should have been saying to him, Maguire's not ready. He needs another week of struggling, on the training pitch.
Yeah, that's just horrendous mismanagement, and it's not hard. Even your nan would know that a person who has been injured for 3 weeks and trains 48 hours before the game is probably not going to be fit. Let alone, bear in mind, this is Manchester United's first game. I don't really understand that. It must have been because of coronavirus. It was our first game back at Leicester for like years. It's Maguire's first game that he's played in front of the Leicester fans at the King Power Stadium. Solskjaer, I praise him for his man management, but he's just done what Gareth Southgate did to Rashford in the Euro 2020 final, in putting him in a situation that he really should not have been put into.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say that Maguire's not at fault for going towards the ball, which is one of the standard things that any kid's taught, and he should have done that. But Solskjaer really he basically set him on fire and kicked him onto the pitch by starting him today. And I mean that was only one of the issues. But overall, Ian, as I said, what does that change anything for you with how you feel about Solskjaer as manager and what United should be doing?
I said in our WhatsApp chat, and I said it as a comment on your video earlier today. I've moved a step closer to being Ollie out today. That was not good enough. I still want to give.
How many steps are there on your ladder?
I'm going to say 5.
I'm going to say 5.
I'd say I'm somewhere between Ollie in and on the fence right now.
Mate, I'm so on the fence. I've got a fence post up my arse. It's pissing me off. It really is. There's nothing else you can say. But at the same time, you see, I don't know whether this is the famous, bit of support from the club saying the vote of confidence.
Yeah. I mean, when we saw the first one, I think it was David Ornstein who had the first one of these as well a couple of weeks ago. That's what I thought. That's it's the cradle. It's the first sign, and things haven't improved. We're still going down that path of we support the manager. I don't believe that comment. That 100%. I don't believe they're 100%. No. I believe they're about 75% sure on him.
There's no way he's 100 at this point. Surely, that's what I think anyway.
If someone at that club isn't on the phone to someone like Zidane right now, I'll be gobsmacked.
I don't know who is it. Whoever, that's part of the reason why I'm firmly sat on the fence, is because for me to come off that fence, I need a fucking plan to look at and say, right, okay, now I can see a direction. Because I've seen too many goddamn U-turns at my football club to just simply sack the manager and go, let's see what's there something over the fence. I don't know what it is. I want to go look over there.
But I've
been stung too often.
I wanted to have this conversation after the group stages of the Champions League and say, I wanted to be able to say, he gets through Champions League, we're doing okay in the league, we can have this conversation, we can all be comfortable with him going forward, at least until the end of the season. We can then maybe have but right now I'm thinking, we might be having this conversation after the Liverpool game.
I think I think realistically, the thing that's really going to accelerate things is not particularly the league. It's going to be the Champions League. It's going to be what we
Yeah.
do against Atalanta in the next couple of games. If
think,
we get the
yeah.
wrong results there, I think things really might start heading towards step 5. There's a comment here that's coming from Joshua. I mentioned, he said, really concerning that Rashford can come on and score right after an injury, but Sancho seems to not yet be able to adapt to the pace of the Premier League. I think I'll say this about Sancho, 2 things. Number 1, Sancho plays with pace. When Manchester United slow the game down, you're not going to get the most out of Jadon Sancho. He ends up getting squared up by 2 defenders. And a point that was raised by Red Billy, one of the editors on The People's Person, was also at Dortmund. He had a lot of freedom. He wasn't like stuck to the left wing. You would see Sancho drift to the right, drift to the left. And I think we have seen that at certain points this season. But I'm still not fussed about Jadon Sancho. I'm not worried about Jadon Sancho. I think there's far more fucking bigger problems at our club right now than to be worrying as to why our new winger's not settling in.
Yeah, there is, and it's the defence and the midfield. The defence is not the players because we've got, you look at our starting 4, that's a top back 4. De Gea's playing like the best goalkeeper in the world right now.
Yeah,
you can't. It's not any of them. The midfield, it's okay, really. I think it should be I think Matic is a good player. Pogba.
You're being polite, mate. You're being polite.
I mean, like,
I would say shit.
You have got a point there, but Matic. Look at the players. Matic and Pogba, both top quality players in that position. I don't know why.
Yeah, but one's like 5 years past his peak, and the other one is, well, let's be honest, he's never been at his complete peak at Manchester United. But
that's true.
Oh, mate, look, I'll let someone else come on because I can't let you hog it all
cheers,
night,
mate.
Ian. But look,
Please do. I need to
you're
rant,
sat
mate.
on you're sat on the fence, and you've got a fence post up your ass just like I have. And I'll tell you what, it's not particularly. And also, as a comment from I can't remember who it was, but someone said make your bed. So you've been called out here. You've got...
yeah, that's the spare bed, but I'm not feeling 100%, so I might be on there tonight.
Don't want excuses like that.
I'll go tidy up now.
Exactly. Yeah, you think about you think about yourself there, Ian. You think about what you're doing. Jesus, embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, really. I'm joking. But Manchester United today were pretty goddamn embarrassing. Really, they were. And yeah, honestly, where do you stand on this, Jay? I can see you there waiting in the comments patiently. I'll bring you in next, buddy. But what percentage do you think? I clearly do think that Manchester United do still support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I do think he still has the majority of the support from the club. But I'm like Ian. I don't think it's 100%. Where do you think Manchester? Give me a percentage. Because Solskjaer definitely has credit inside the club, and he deserves credit inside the club. So I always remind you, if this all ends in tears, right, and Solskjaer gets sacked, and it all goes fucking tits up, I'm going to do the most research possible and spend the longest time possible I can doing a thank you video for Solskjaer, because he has rebuilt this club so much in the last 3 years and put out so many fires that have been lit by other managers that can't just go and be forgotten about. And as I said, we wouldn't be in this position without Solskjaer. But whether or not he's the right man to take us forward after that is obviously the conversation we're having now. Jay, I'll bring you on and you can have your say, buddy. Nice to see you as a new face. How you doing?
What's up, man? Good?
Yeah. How you feeling about that today? You got a smile on your face, but I don't think you're happy with the football.
Oh, my God, bro. Like, the thing is with Solskjaer, right? I watch him very closely and like what he does, and it doesn't seem like he has a clue like what he's doing in terms of like how the team plays, how the team sets up. Like, he plays a 4-2-3-1. Like what the first guy said when he first came in, he was playing with one sitter, and that was Matic. And I'm looking at it now with Fred and McTominay, which we all know is going to happen again. Like, the next game, we're probably going to see Fred and McTominay there. And I'm looking at like the options we have in midfield. And obviously, like Matic, yeah, he's past his prime, but he's the best DM like we have at the club. Like, whether we like it or not, he's the best DM we have. And
yep.
McTominay, he doesn't even start for Scotland's midfield, but he's out here starting for Man United's midfield. That's another thing which is getting into my head, which is I don't know. And with Fred, don't even get me started with Fred. Like, let's not go there. But
Come on,
like
man, yeah.
with everything else, Van de Beek, I would like to see him have a chance of a run of games, but clearly he's just not in Solskjaer's plans, even though Solskjaer says he's a part of his plans, but he just cannot get a game, even though he was up for a Ballon d'Or list, but he cannot get a game. And wow. And the inconsistency with the way we play. Yes, you can say Varane was not there, but my God, Solskjaer's decision to start Maguire. Wow.
Yeah, I feel that's going to be that strikes me as a decision that I don't think he'll be allowed to forget. I don't think anyone will sort of forget.
Wow.
And as I asked Ian, Jay, has today changed sort of any of your opinions on Solskjaer, or how strongly you feel for supporting him or not supporting him? Has that game sort of had an impact on that for you?
The thing is, like, I really wanted Solskjaer to succeed. I knew it was going to take not necessarily a season, but 2 seasons or 3 seasons. It's his 3rd season now, but I feel his time is done. I feel this is where he's going to take us. This is the best he's going to do, unfortunately. And you could say like Ole out, but who else are you going to bring in? Like Conte, he's not going to come in. Like,
no, he can get fucked. I don't want him anywhere near my club.
And the thing is with Man United, like it's a club where there needs to be like a long kind of strategy kind of plan. So Conte, as much as I'd want him in, he doesn't suit that kind of United DNA. And then you're looking at Zidane. Yes, he's won the Champions League 3 times, but would United really go for him? I don't know. Those are like the 2 only.
I mean, yeah, you've got those 2. You're obviously going to get like people like Ten Hag thrown into it. You're going to get, I don't know. There's so many different managers that people are going to say, this is the one that's going to take United forward.
But what I would like to say is, the biggest concern for me is Man United's midfield. That right there is a big concern. The fact that we overlooked it for the past 2 seasons, that really is a massive concern. Like Solskjaer in a press conference recently said how in midfield he looks for like a Roy Keane, but back in his day, like a Roy Keane or someone who can just like do like a balance of it, someone who can just get up the pitch and also like do the defensive duties, which is fair enough, but that was like the game of the past. This is the game like now. And like I don't understand why we place this rigid style of like where we're so pragmatic, where we relying on players who like to do a job like McTominay and Fred, who are truly like number 8s, but then they're being asked just to screen the defense. And that right there is a massive concern for me. Like for me, like games are won in midfield for me, and we're too predictable, we're too slow, and the likes of Sancho, we're not seeing the best out of him because we're playing too slow.
Yeah, mate, that's something I firmly agree with. And that's something that's pretty much why I'm not really listening to too much criticism about him, because I know that right now our setup's just not going to get the most out of him. But mate, I share a lot of your concerns. I'll tell you what, I can't wait for Atalanta. Said nobody ever. But
but
mate, really nice.
Yeah,
mate. Look, I said this before. Like, we normally get reactions, and then we've had that against Leicester. So instead, at a point where Solskjaer's got his back against the wall, we've typically performed. Today was different. Today was dramatically different, and it's made we've now gone further down the rabbit hole, and it's not a good rabbit hole. Some are good, some are bad. This is definitely a bad one. But no, Jay, look, mate, thank you for coming on. Really nice to chat to you. I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon at some point, buddy.
Amen, man.
Yeah, hopefully, with a bit, a smile on our face for the right reason. Nate Bennett, how you doing, buddy? Great show, gents. I've been very patient with Solskjaer, but it's time to move on. Bring in some quality. Our failures this season is down to coaching. I don't think anybody's going to argue with the fact that Manchester United's failure this season is down to coaching. It's down to whether or not you feel more like you want to point the finger at Solskjaer for that, or whether you want to point the finger more at Phelan, Carrick, McKenna, and Fletcher for that. Something I find very, very odd. And we're very good at this, as you know. We've normally done it with players, but we just gave Mike Phelan a contract extension last week. And I don't really know why. I don't really know I don't know how that benefited us in any way, shape, or form. It's not as if Mike Phelan's going to go and get poached by FC Barcelona, is it? I mean, he probably would do a job there right now. But no, I found that very strange. Down the comments, who I can see it. Chris, I can see you there. Paul, I can see you. Paul's a new face. I'll bring Paul in next. And then Chris, I'll bring you on as well. Ike and also Owen. I'll go down to the comments. I'll read a few of your comments out, as always. So, ladies and gents, if you would like to subscribe to United, please subscribe to United People's TV. As I'm not going to do too many shout outs, but as I said, I always try and make this channel genuinely the most interactive United channel that's out there, get you involved. And I think I do that very well. It's only because you're good, though. Matthew Grant, you're saying Ole chose his coaches. Yes, he did. And I think Mike Phelan, I'll be honest, was very responsible for how good the 3 years have been under Solskjaer. I think he was a perfect sort of mentor, I think I would call Mike Phelan. I think that's the sort of role he would have had. I can only guess it. I mean, I don't know what Mike Phelan did, but I imagine he was the person that was very good at linking the past with the present and helping Solskjaer learn on the job, which is what everyone else has been doing. The organisation and planning that goes into a season is not there, says Apex. It never was in 3 years. It is beyond being critical. It is a failure. I mean, yeah, I called it total failure after the Villa game. So I don't know how to describe that if I'm going to call Villa a failure. Anyway, Chris, I can see you down there, buddy. Let's bring you on. Yes, mate. We had a chat before the game. You said 3-1. I said 3-1. We were both completely wrong, sir.
Where do we begin? Where do we even effing begin? I mean, I don't know. Like it's a total shambles from the entire team. I know a lot of people are placing their blame on Ole. I am placing the blame on Ole, but at the same time, if you look at the players, I mean, just go and rewatch the game in full, right?
Absolutely.
Every time,
that is
every
a terrible
time.
idea. Don't watch that game again. Don't do that to yourself, Chris. Don't do it to yourself. Come on.
Every time we get the ball, I kid you not, every time we get the ball, one of our players get the ball, no one's moving for him. Absolutely no one. They're either standing still or they're jogging casually, right? I only see one player, to be honest. Nemanja Matic was the only one trying to create some space, trying to create a passing line. So, with that said, I think the players are not playing for Ole anymore. And for that reason alone, I think it's time that I hop onto the Ole out wagon.
So you're after that game, you're switching, not switching loyalties, but it sort of pushed you over the edge, and you're gone.
It's really hard because you can clearly see that players aren't interested. There's no energy. There's no willingness to want to play football anymore. There's no desire, no determination, no fire. Like it's like they're playing to get Ole out. To be honest, I mean it's hard to see those. Those players played for their country, and you see how they perform for their nation. You see how they played for their manager, and when they come back to United, it's like nothing, no energy, nothing.
Yeah, it's players are sort of symptomatic of their environments. So if you go into a happy France camp and you've got players like Mbappe, Kante, Benzema, who right now is probably the best player in the world, it sort of reflects on them, and it rubs off. And that's clearly what's happening at Manchester United at the moment, and not in a positive way. There's players like Greenwood today, like Marcus Rashford when he came off the bench, who have the ability to sort of push through that envelope that's covering the club and saying, no, fuck that, we're going over here, we're going towards there, which is what we wanted Ronaldo to do. I agree with Chris earlier, not different Chris, obviously, when he said that probably United as a team are better without Ronaldo and with Cavani. I've thought that since day one, but it's Cristiano Ronaldo. You can't just kick him out of the team. But look, Chris, I don't think you're the only one that's sort of teetering towards the edge. Like I said to Ian earlier, I've got a fence post firmly rammed up my bum hole right now because that's where I am. I'm just sitting on. I don't actually have a fence post up my bum. I just want to clarify that. But I'm sitting on the fence with Solskjaer, and I always have been sitting on the fence because I want to try and appreciate and understand both sides of the argument. That's what you got to do in any sort of conversation or debate. You got to look at both sides. Yeah. But today,
this is my fence. This is Ollie.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, don't sit on the. Well, you're not on the fence anymore. Well, can't say that, right, Chris? Thank you very much for coming on, buddy. I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon. But mate, like Chris won't be the only one who's done that today. And again, that's exactly why I did this video. I feel like I've timed it right. I'm not going to be. As I said, I could have done this video a lot earlier. but I didn't want to. I didn't feel like it was appropriate. I didn't feel like it would have helped Manchester United. As always, throughout these entire streams, fire in your comments down below. Fire in your super chats with anything any points you want to make, any conversation points you want me to look at that I haven't spoken about yet. But what I want to do now is head back to look at a bit more of the reaction that happened after the game, a few more of the quotes that we saw from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba, because this for me is quite, just as much as I said that something, it feels different after this game. And I've, in terms of the reaction from it anyway, number one, that's coming from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but number two, Paul Pogba's been quite a big part of that as well. Let's go up here. Paul Pogba, he's saying here, we've been having these kind of games for a long time. We have not found the problem, conceding easy goals. We need to be more mature, play with more experience and arrogance in a good way. We need to find something. We need to change. That's what Pogba's saying there. Now, he speaks a lot of sense. He speaks a lot of sense. I said on Twitter after, I said, look, man, Pogba speaks a lot of sense there, but sort of don't throw stones in glass houses. He had like 0 tackles, 2 out of 13 ground duels he won. He was crap today. He was absolutely crap today. So, yeah, we do need more arrogance. We do have problems. And I think Pogba was quite a significant part of that problem today. So, the reason I would say that the Pogba comments are interesting in this situation is because I can't play that because I've got my headphones in, unfortunately. Otherwise I would. It's very interesting to hear players coming out and basically Pogba coming out and saying, look, things need to change, man. Things need to change. Chris there saying, yeah, Pogba said we need to change. I hope he finishes his actual sentence. We need to change the coach and the manager. People in the comments are saying Pogba's been crap since we signed him. That's just an outright lie. You know it is. I know it is. He has been fantastic in patches, but he's a bit like Jesse Lingard, Purple Patch FC. When he's good, he's great. When he's not, like today, mate, Tielemans ran that game. Look, exactly what Brendan Rodgers said. Perfect there. It's exactly what I'm talking about. I thought we started, this is what Brendan Rodgers said after the game. I thought we started well. Their central midfielders weren't pressing, so we could be patient and work the ball through the pitch. So without Manchester United's press, Leicester didn't feel any danger. And all they need to do was just wait for the overlapping run from Pereira on the right-hand side. Wait for an underlapping cut-in run from Castagna on the left. Maybe wait for Maddison to get into a bit of space in between our midfield and our defence. Leicester just decided what they wanted to do. They were like, let's go over here this time. Let's try it over there. We gave them the free reign of the midfield today. And I suppose that was always going to happen with Matic and Pogba. Maybe Captain Hindsight kicking in here, me saying, Matic and Pogba, I can't wait for it. Maybe that was always going to happen. And maybe that today is why you saw why Fred is there, simply because he does things that other midfielders don't do. Not because he's an incredible midfielder, but no one runs around midfield like Fred. It's not part of Pogba's game. Never has been. It's not really. I mean, McTominay can do it, but not as intensely for a 90-minute period. And Matic simply cannot do it. And Van der Beek, I suppose, hasn't had these sort of conversations, the opportunities to do that himself. Let's head down here and look at a few more comments here coming out from Solskjaer. Nothing really. I think this is going back towards that coming out there. And that, as I said, very well timed in terms of us having this conversation on this video. Manchester United are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You got Nana here saying, guys, can't you see Sam can't say the truth about Ole? It's not that at all, buddy. You can't just... It would be equally as pointless for me to just shout Ole out as it would be for me to shout Ole in right now if there's no plan. And I don't think Manchester United have any sort of hint of a plan of what comes next after Solskjaer. They weren't expecting this to happen this season. You can call that foolish. You can call that foolish if you want. But Man United have made their bed, given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new contract, and are sticking with him right now. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do anymore. I really don't. Today was a game where my opinion sort of shifted. my opinion, no, actually, no, I'm lying. It dramatically shifted because of the significance of the game today and what it meant in terms of the momentum swing. Because after that international break was so long, because we had Everton, we had Villa, we had Villarreal, and then we had 2 weeks to sort of fester on it, and it wasn't pretty. It was horrible. And then we've had that Leicester game, which is the opportunity for Manchester United to just park everything that happened previously. Say, look, I know that happened against Everton, Villa, Villarreal. Don't worry about it, man. These 10 games, we can go steamroll. Let's attack them. A win today would have done that. A good performance today would have done that. Would have allowed United to gain momentum and head into these games against Atalanta and Liverpool now, maybe with some optimism that things can get turned around. Instead, the engine's fallen out. We've just crashed into a lamppost. The car's on fire. It's now worse than it has been before. And as I said, Solskjaer's running out of excuses. He's running out of excuses here. I'm not here shouting Solskjaer out because it's pointless. It's pointless when I'm seeing the club coming out and supporting him. But trust me, I'm firmly on that goddamn fence, and I'm now looking at the grass on the other side, going, you know what, that might be better. But there's quite a substantial. I'm more surprised that this sort of gut feeling doesn't exist in more United fans. We've seen what happens when we just sack managers and try and move somewhere else and try and take a new turn and a new time. It hasn't worked, man. It has not worked. And I'm not saying it's working right now with Solskjaer, because what I saw today, it does not work with Solskjaer right now. But I also know that I've got a massive fear of what happens after Solskjaer, because we've been building towards a certain direction. And I think a lot of the signings have been very good. I think the club and the squad are in a very good shape. We'd have to get a manager in that would continue that path we're on, rather than steer at U-turn, put the handbrake on, go down. It's a complete right turn. Like Moyes to Van Gaal, like Van Gaal to Mourinho, like Mourinho to Solskjaer. Complete U-turns, all of them. People are mentioning Conte. My God, that's not a U-turn. That's just putting the club in reverse. You know, the dad over the shoulder. Just reversing back to Mourinho. And he pulls the mask off and it's Conte instead. Nah, mate. No. You're mad. You're mad for saying that. Chris, you're saying we kept Pogba. We kept saying Pogba this, Bruno that, Ronaldo this, McTominay that. Can't blame the players when Ole doesn't know how to utilize them properly. Yeah, I mean it's certainly a bit of it's chicken or the egg if you want to argue in terms of the squad or the manager, but both of them are equally as responsible for what we saw there today from Manchester United. And that is why for me, there's a lot more momentum behind my Ole out train now than there was before that game. It wasn't just a defeat. It wasn't just a loss. It was humiliating. And it was a humiliation for Solskjaer that exposed weaknesses that we've always known are there, that have always been there. But today, oh my God. They were horribly exposed. Hey, look, I'll wrap it up for now. We'll be here all night. It's a bit of an impromptu one, but I'm glad I did it. Thank you very much to Chris for coming on. Yeah, Chris Nightingale as well. For Jay. Who else? Sorry, buddy. I can't remember your name. There's a few more new regular faces. There's new faces, there's regular faces. And Ian, you were there too. Please drop a like on the video if you would. Please, honestly, subscribe if you want to get involved in stuff like this. There'll be plenty more of this across the season. Maybe I'll do another one tomorrow if there's another talking point. But look, I'm confused. I can see it in the comments. I am confused because part of me can see that Solskjaer is not working. But there's another part of me pulling me back saying, hold up, Sam. You know what happens when we sack managers without the right plan. You know what will happen if we sack Solskjaer and we don't have the right plan. Maybe don't go out just yet. I'm having an internal tug of war. It's a bit like Solskjaer saying, what do we do to change it? I don't know, but something has to change. That's all I know. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. I hope you have a cracking rest of your Saturday night. Jeez, I want to go and have a beer. My God. But as I said, please subscribe if you're new. That was fucking terrible today, wasn't it? Let's forget about it. Have a drink. Enjoy your Saturday. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.